blessing did not follow them because nobody blessed them. When my father paid the dowry, the favor that God so talked about started coming. This is for young people to listen, to learn.
Welcome to Voices and Views, where real voices meet bold opinions.
Awesome fun.
My name is Mrs. Sophia Ejame, and I want to talk a little bit on the experience I've had over time, from personal experience and that of my parents, on why marriages without parental blessings fail or face difficulty or even barrenness. I got to experience this, or I got to know about this, let me say it that way, that I got to know about this when I started having that sense of, okay, this is marriage or this is relationship between my father and my mother, and even myself. I got to discover it, that those marriages that either the parents of the woman or the parents of the man disagree, whether it's both of them or just one, that marriage always face difficulty. Let me put it this way. I grew up knowing, or with the mind of, is this how marriage is? If this is how marriage is, then it means I will not get married. Why am I saying this? Every time I see the quarrel in the house, and it's as if, even if I beat you up, my father will say, even if I beat you up, nobody will ask me questions, because at the end of the day, nobody actually agreed to the marriage act. Even if the woman is facing problem in the marriage, the woman will not be able to go home and go and report and say, oh, my daddy or my mommy, this is what I'm passing through. Because in the first place, they will ask one question, one very salient question. Why did you go? Who asked you to? After all, the man did not pay your dowry. And that will bring us down to why dowry is very, very important. Even in the Bible, Jesus turned water into wine. It was not in a church wedding, neither was it in a court wedding. It was in a traditional wedding. Without being told, it was in a traditional wedding where a dowry is being paid. That was where Jesus turned water into wine. And he said it again in the Bible. It is written that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. So I wonder why some persons will just feel like going into marriage without the blessing of both parents, or the blessing of either one of the parents. Like I grew up knowing that my mother's father, who happens to be my grandfather, did not support the marriage, and my father's mother did not support the marriage. So from both ends, my grandmother from my father and my grandfather from my mother, they both did not support the marriage. That even if the person is facing difficulty, you won't be able to call anybody and all of that. And aside that, I experienced the difficulties in the house sometimes, or let me say throughout that period that the dowry was not paid. They were living from hand to mouth. Like, if they manage to get money to eat today, they will go and struggle for the one they will use to eat tomorrow. The blessing did not follow them because nobody blessed their marriage. The marriage, not from even the elders in the house at all. So it was difficult paying school fees. It was difficult eating, and so many things were just going wrong. So many things. So it was after my mom gave birth to 1, 2, 3, 4. I happened to be the first. The fourth one, that my father now said, okay, let me go and pay the dowry. And immediately he paid the dowry. I don't know where money started coming from, because as soon as he paid the dowry, the fourth child became the Ochua in the house. In my language, Ochuwa means wealth. The person that brings wealth. After the 4th child, when my father, let me repeat it again, when my father paid the dowry, the favor that God so talked about started coming. The wealth came. Before you know it, we had the first car. My father bought the first car, 504. Then, in those days, as far back as 1982. The second car he bought was Volkswagen for my mom, and he now bought a Subaru, red one, a sport car. Before you know it, the living from hand to mouth stopped. He opened the supermarket for my mother, and everything was just going well. So that is how far blessed marriage can be. That is how good blessed marriage can be. So when you do the right thing, God will pour down his favor, no doubt. And most times, some women, with what I've heard from other people, they will elope and go and join the boyfriend. They will say, let's start living. Before you know it, they'll start having problem. I've seen somebody in my street. They told her, they said, your boyfriend is AS. You are AS. That one is even natural. Leave him. Before they even discovered that they were both AS, it took time. Not as if at the beginning they knew it was AS. No, they didn't know it was AS at the beginning. But she eloped with the boy. Gave birth to the first child, the child died. Gave birth to the second one, managed to stay. Gave birth to the third one, the child died. Before you know it, go and pay my dowry, go and pay my dowry. And when the man eventually paid the dowry, they got stopped. And that was how their children started dying one after the other before they now discovered that it was AS. All of these things are what men, young men and young women, before they get into marriage, they are supposed to even check. Most of them they will check it. They'll go for blood tests to check whether they will start giving birth to children that will come to this earth to suffer. It's not enough to just say, I love this person, I want to follow this person. Most times, they are even supposed to have problems in the marriage. But because of that, God's blessing and the parents' blessing, the blessings of the elder ones in the house, and God will have to revert so many things for them. Then let me take myself for example now. I gave birth to my first child. I was not married. I gave birth to my second child. We were not still married. It was not easy. I will have to, because I'm an artist, I will have to draw. Only me. I became jack of all trades, master of all. I will draw. I will paint. Use pastel to paint. Do signboard. Do banners. Just to make sure that I'm able to put something on the table for my children. And before you know it, I got a job. I managed to go to school, got a job. And even at that, my husband did not still get a job. He was just thriving. He was thriving. I'm talking about my husband now. Then he was not my husband. So he was thriving. We were living from hand to mouth. It will finish today. We'll say, let's hope for God tomorrow. Why? Because we did not do the right thing. The dowry was not paid. But I bet you, from personal experience, I'm saying this. The moment we started planning marriage to say, okay, now it's time, before we give birth to the third one, let's go and pay your dowry. I want to pay your dowry now. Before you know it, he called me and said, hey, they just promoted me in the office. So he was actually receiving as low as 19,500 in a month. During the planning of the marriage, after the introduction by both families, because his parents came to the house, they came for the introduction, they promoted him, and he started earning 65,000, from 19,500 to 65,000. Then in the week we finished the wedding, he said, okay, I'm going back to my station now. Let me go and resume work. He called me not later than a week after our marriage, that they promoted him again. They said his work that he did was an outstanding one, and they promoted him the salary from 65,000 to 130,000, like 100% increase. And since then, I bet you it has been getting better. Even though sometimes it's okay, they want to retrench people, they retrench. No later than some weeks, you will get another job. So there is blessing in God, especially God's blessing in any marriage that is blessed by both parents, and it's good to pay dowry. So some people face difficulty because the blessings of the parents are not there. It is true. So this is for young people that are about to get married or that are into relationship, to listen, to learn. That this one that I just said now is from personal experience. I'm not saying it. It is from personal experience that it is good that you do the right thing, you pay the dowry, and you see things will just go on smoothly, as if the whole of God's grace is upon your head only in this life. Thank you.
While love is essential, the blessing of parents has a layer of harmony, support, and sometimes spiritual covering that many believe is vital for a fruitful marriage. Let's continue to reflect on how we can balance personal choices with cultural and familiar expectations.